Okay, so I'm going to have to read from our update just so y'all can make sure that everybody gets the full picture. So bear with me for just a little bit of it because it's kind of long. Okay, so it starts out with soap. For most of you, the word soap may not mean much, just something to use for bathing. For our team, though, soap is one thing God used to work miracles. In order for you to get the whole picture, we have to take you back a few months. Haley, our team leader, had been praying about what God would have in mind for this mission, as she always was looking for some new service ideas for our team. For those of us who have been to Niger in previous years, we love and appreciate this spirit in Haley. She had been communicating with Adam, the Link Niger team logistics coordinator, asking him for project suggestions. While researching potential ideas, Adam spoke with the pastor of the church where we'd be holding our women's conference. The pastor's wife was excited to hear a team of women would be coming and asked if we would be interested in going to the women's prison to minister. Of course, Haley was open to the idea and excited at the opportunity, but she was also aware that in the past, the prison only allowed 4 visitors in at one time. For our team, this wasn't an option, and she didn't want anyone to be excluded from serving the women. While Adam was working on government approval for all 10 of us to be allowed together, several of us began asking our friends and family to donate items we could bring with us. A friend of Kelly and Laurie's had donated many items last year and was gracious enough to make a donation again this year. One of the items he donated was soap, something he had never given before. Then Misty contacted a friend who works for a hotel chain and asked if they would donate washcloths. They couldn't give us washcloths, but they had 8,000 bars of soap to donate, if someone could just pick them up. In the meantime, Haley asked them to find out if there were any specific needs or items for the prisoners needed. Guess what the warden said? Bars of soap. Haley felt all this was God's confirming this was his plan. Finally, only days before our team was to leave the U.S., Adam sent an email stating, although he had never seen this happen before, all 10 of us had been approved by the government to meet with the prisoners. Now, we were going to be the first team to visit a prison, and none of us really knew what to expect. So this was kind of kept a secret, and we didn't find out until one of the nights that we were debriefing. And Haley, our team leader, had told us that we'd be going to the prison. Haley went through the story that I just read to y'all and just told us how she really felt like this was God ordained and that God had a big plan for us at this prison. I really just didn't have any fears. If any of you know me, y'all know me that I'm a worrier, and I just never really worried. I've never visited a prison, so the only thing that I knew about prison was on TV, and so my vision was probably like most of yours, which was concrete walls, cells, and clean, nothing fancy, just that's what I had vision. So as we arrived to the prison, we had to do a check-in with the warden. Before we got out of the car, we were reminded to not look at any men directly in the eye, as it gives the wrong impression. On our way up to the warden's office, we walked through groups of men gathered leading up to this steep stairway to where the warden's office was. If you can imagine only looking down, holding your skirt, walking up steep stairs into a small concrete room. Our teams joked that this felt like we were in the scene of a James Bond movie. As we stood in James Bond's office with a room full of cigarette smoke, all we could do was pray inside our minds. The warden, aka James Bond, also again gave us the green light to visit with the prisoners and even invited us back. As we arrived in the prison, we hear clapping and cheering. These women were thrilled for us to be there. The prison was once again made of concrete. It was dirty, mats, and personal items were everywhere. One thing that caught my eye was a bucket of grasshoppers. That was their lunch. And we sang songs, painted nails, and we did crafts. Laurie read the life and death story of Jesus, and it was translated into 3 different languages, which were French, Zarma, and Hausa. While we were there, we met a lady named Blessing. Blessing is a 23-year-old woman who is a Christian, and she is from Nigeria. Blessing was put in prison while crossing borders without proper documentation. Our team really believed that God sent us to the prison for Blessing, as well as Blessing was there sent by God for us. Blessing was a huge help in translating many of the conversations. She also shared with us the true conditions and stories of the prisoners. We found out that it was shocking that all the women were mixed together, a 14-year-old girl who stole a toy to a woman who committed murder. Didn't matter the crime. At night, all the ladies were locked in three small rooms, and for no reason would the doors be opened. As we left, we told Leslie we would continue to pray for her and her boldness. As Jesus followers, not only are we called to share the good news, we are called to lift one another up. Next is me.